Now, let's get a bit more personal. That's groups of people. What about me? What about me? Let's look at me now. How do I fight God? So we see with religion, there's a lot of misconceptions about God that are in opposition to God. There are also a lot of actions taken in religion that are in opposition to love and therefore in opposition to God. But what about me? Because you see, a lot of times I have a tendency to blame everybody else for the terrible condition of the world. And I say to myself, but I'm only one of 8 billion on this planet. It really doesn't matter what I believe, but, it does matter what all those groups of people are doing and believe, and how terrible are they all, But we rarely look at ourselves and see what we're doing, and particularly what we're doing with God. So what are you doing with God? Now, yesterday, the questions demonstrate, you can see that we have an internal emotional argument going on with God for the most part. The emotional argument is, I don't like what you've done. So we're basically saying to God, I don't like what you've done, right? You've made a crappy world for me to come into. And we, of course, don't appreciate all the beautiful gifts that we've been given in this world when we have that attitude. And so we think we come into this crappy world and we just have a crappy time of it, on earth as well. And then we die, and then we're so scared of dying, so we try to live as long as we possibly can. And then, of course, we die anyway because none of us can live, longer than our condition allows. And so we die. And then because nobody comes back, or nobody very convincing anyway, comes back and talks to me about what's afterwards, so what am I meant to believe? There's people who come back and say, oh, you don't have to worry about anything, everything's fine now, we know everything now, and there's reincarnation and that works, and you're just going to come back to Earth. And a lot of you, if you think about reincarnation, you go, what? Why would I want to come back to Earth? The last time was bad enough. And sort of like, so we have all these kind of attitudes as well. And so a lot of us get into this state where we just become so frustrated about finding the truth. And instead of looking maybe at the means by which we're trying to discover truth, or instead of looking at the method we're using to discover truth, or instead of looking at, love as a governing factor and then trying to bring everything in harmony with love, we just give up and we go, what's the point? Let's just try our best to live the best life I believe I should live, not anybody else, but I believe I should live, and suck the life out of the planet while I'm doing it generally. That's, everybody in history has done that. Why can't I? Everybody in history has, whenever they had resources at their means, they used them all. Whenever they had the ability to destroy something for their own benefit, they did. So why can't I? Right? It's very unfair if I can't do that, is almost what we believe. And so we have all of these justifications, internal justifications, as to why we should forget about the whole concept of God, even if there is one, and just live out our life on earth. And then we pass. And because many of us sort of believe there's probably, and don't have a lot of conviction that there's much after passing, we sort of believe and we become very focused on living in the physical. So my problem becomes, I become very physical in my orientation towards life. So I barely think about spiritual matters. And when I say barely, if you think about spiritual matters, I say 1 hour a day, that's pretty unique. But when you think about 1 hour a day, that's only 1/24 of the day. So it's not very often. Can you see? And the average person probably doesn't think about God or spiritual matters or love or, developing themselves in love or becoming a more loving person like for an hour a day. Most people would be lucky on earth to think about it for 5 minutes a day, right? And so we become very physically focused, and as we said yesterday, very sensorially focused. Like we start just using all of our senses to discover things, and we also shut down the very thing we've been created with. Remember, me is not this body, not the spirit one either, but a half of a soul, and we shut down all of the senses of the soul and become physically oriented in the world we live. And we also shut down any, what I would classify as spiritual development or development in love. We become very focused on selfishness rather than love, getting what I want for me. So that's often where I stand when it comes to development. So I'm also now looking at God and criticising through my actions. I'm basically criticising everything he's done. I'm basically saying, well, you haven't made it clear to me that you exist, so why should I believe in you? You haven't made it clear to me what I should do with my life, so why should I do anything that you say? You haven't made it clear to me what the rules are, so I'm going to act like there's no rules. I don't know about you, but driving around in Austria, I sort of feel the same to some degree. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but when you get in the car, it's really interesting, is it? There's a speed limit sign, 80 or whatever, and you drive at 80, and everybody's going, whoa, 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 like past you like nobody's business, like 100 k's or more, and you're going, I thought the speed limit here was 80. So it doesn't seem to be 80, but and then it says /80. What does that mean? It's sort of like, now I've got to guess what the speed limit is. It's not 80. That's all I know. It's not 80. So now, when everything is so indeterminate like this, there's a tendency in you to just ignore things. Can you see that? And this is what a lot of humans have done with their relationship with God. They just sort of ignore things. Seemingly indeterminate, it seems. And so we start ignoring it.